There is a cucumber vine on my balcony right now that climbed almost 6 feet up the railing in a single month. It has big, beautiful leaves. It has curly little tendrils grabbing onto everything they can reach. It flowered like crazy back in June, and for the longest time, it gave me exactly 0 cucumbers. Not one. All that green, all that climbing, all that showing off, and nothing on my plate. If you have ever grown a cucumber plant and ended up with a monster vine and an empty cutting board, you already know the feeling, and I promise you, it is not your fault. Nobody ever told you the plant is doing 3 things wrong at once, and every one of them is fixable this week with stuff you already own. So stick with me all the way to the end, because the biggest reason those little cucumbers form and then turn yellow and drop off has nothing to do with your soil or your water. It is one specific thing that stopped happening the day you moved that plant onto a balcony or a windowsill, and once you see it, you will never miss it again. I'm Jake, though most folks just call me Backyard Buddy. 3 years ago, I was the guy who killed houseplants, and I mean that honestly. I once killed a cactus, which apparently takes real effort. Then, a bunch of green onion ends I threw at the trash can missed, landed in a glass of water and sprouted, and I have been hooked ever since. Since then, I've regrown hundreds of plants from kitchen scraps right here on my windowsills. And my balcony, my grocery bill has dropped by nearly 1/3. And my neighbor Gloria upstairs, a retired school teacher who taught me half of what I know, has been growing food on her balcony for 20 years. So let me start with something that makes this whole thing feel a little better. That cucumber plant on my balcony did not cost me a dime to start. I did not buy a seed packet. I took a regular cucumber from the grocery store, the same kind you would slice for a salad, and I scooped out a spoonful of the seeds from the middle. It's not garbage, that's groceries, and it's next summer's groceries too. I rinsed those seeds, let them dry on a paper towel for a few days, and planted a few of them in a pot of dirt. That is the entire starting line. Free seeds from a cucumber you were going to eat anyway. But here's where almost everybody, me included in my first year, goes wrong. You get that little plant growing, and it looks so healthy, and you want to help it, so you feed it. And you probably feed it the wrong thing, and that one honest mistake is why you get all vine and no fruit. Let me explain it the simple way. Plant food comes with 3 main ingredients, and the first one, the one listed first on almost every bottle and bag, is nitrogen. Nitrogen grows green. It grows leaves, it grows stems, it grows that big showy vine. And most all-purpose plant foods are loaded with it, because a lush, green plant looks like a happy plant on the shelf. But a cucumber plant that is drowning in nitrogen makes a choice, and the choice it makes is leaves over fruit every single time. It figures, why bother making cucumbers when I've got all this energy to just keep climbing? So the fix here is almost too easy. Once your cucumber plant is a good size and starting to flower, you stop giving it the high nitrogen stuff. You switch to a food that is lower in that first number and higher in the other 2, which are the ones that feed flowers and fruit. On the shelf, look for something that says it's for tomatoes or for blooms or for vegetables and fruit. A tomato food and a cucumber are best friends. Feed it that about once every 2 weeks, and you have already fixed the first of the 3 problems. Take your time with this one. There is no rush, just make the switch the next time you feed it. Now, this little cucumber trick is just one of 31 in a book I put together called The 30-Day Kitchen Scrap Garden Protocol. Here's the honest truth about it. It is written for someone who has never grown a single thing in their life, who does not have a yard, and who does not want to spend much money at all. 31 crops you can grow from the scraps your kitchen already throws away, each one with its own plain page of instructions. No gardening words you have to look up. There's a $10 starter kit inside, made mostly of things you already own, and a day-by-day plan that takes you from 1 glass of water on a windowsill all the way to your first harvest, 30 days later. It's normally $47, but right now it's marked down to $17 one time, and that plan on your windowsill starts paying you back the very next grocery run. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right, so we've stopped feeding the leaves. Now let's make the plant grow the right way in the first place, because this second fix is the one that really starts turning a vine into a factory. A cucumber plant, left completely alone, does what a puppy does when you take off the leash. It just runs. It sends one long main stem shooting off in one direction, climbing and climbing, chasing the sun, and it puts most of its flowers way out at the far end where you can barely reach them. What you actually want is a bushier plant with lots of side branches. Because here's the part nobody explains. The side branches are where most of your female flowers show up. And the female flowers are the ones that turn into cucumbers. So we're going to gently force the plant to make those branches. This is called pinching, and it sounds scarier than it is. Once your plant has grown about 5 or 6 real leaves up the main stem, you find the very tip, the newest little growing point right at the top, and you pinch it off with your fingernails. That's it. Just that soft top bit, about a ½ inch. I know. The first time Gloria told me to do this, I looked at her like she had lost her mind. You want me to cut the top off the plant I'm trying to grow? But here's what happens, and it is honestly a little bit magic. When you take off that main growing tip, the plant stops pouring everything into climbing higher. Instead, it wakes up all the side buds down below, and it sends out branches sideways. More branches means more flowering spots, and more flowering spots means more cucumbers. You're not hurting the plant one bit. You are just telling it to stop showing off and start working. Do that one pinch and give it a week, and you will actually see the new little arms coming out. Gloria taught me this one, and it took my count from a handful of cucumbers a season to more than I could eat. So that handles the growing. But now we have to talk about the flowers themselves, because this is where the mystery from the very beginning starts to come together, and it is the part most folks have never had explained to them even once. Go look at a healthy cucumber plant and flower, and you will see something you probably never noticed. It has 2 different kinds of flowers on it, and they are not the same. Most of the flowers, especially the early ones, are male flowers. A male flower sits on a plain, thin stem, just the flower on a little stalk, and nothing behind it. Its whole job is to make pollen, that yellow dust in the middle. Then there are the female flowers, and here is how you spot one every single time. Right behind a female flower, between the flower and the vine, there is a tiny baby cucumber. It is small, maybe a ¼ inch, but it is unmistakable, a little green cucumber shape already formed, just waiting. That baby cucumber is the whole prize. Every cucumber you have ever eaten started as that little bump behind a female flower. Now here's the thing that trips everybody up, so let me say it slowly. When your plant first starts flowering, it usually makes only male flowers for a week or 2 before the females show up. So if you looked at your plant, saw a bunch of flowers, got excited, and then watched them all fall off with no cucumbers, do not panic. Those were probably just the males doing their job, and then dropping, which is completely normal. The females come a little later. So the first lesson of the flowers is simple. Be patient and start looking for that little cucumber shape behind the bloom before you decide anything is wrong. But even once those female flowers show up, a lot of you are going to hit the exact wall I hit, and it is the reason I told you at the start to stick around. You will find a beautiful female flower with that perfect little baby cucumber behind it, and you will think you are finally in business. And then 3 days later, that little cucumber has turned soft and yellow, and it drops right off the plant. It happens again and again. Gorgeous flowers, tiny cucumbers, and every one of them yellowing and falling before it grows. That is the heartbreak of cucumber growing, and it sent me searching for answers my whole first summer. So let me give you the answer now, because once you understand it, you fix it in about 60 seconds a morning for free with something already in your bathroom drawer. Here is what is really going on. That baby cucumber behind the female flower will only grow if the female flower gets pollinated. Pollinated just means a little of that yellow pollen dust from a male flower has to get carried over and dropped into the center of the female flower. Out in a big open garden, who does that job? Bees. Bees crawl into a male flower, get dusted with pollen, then crawl into a female flower and leave some behind, and they do it all day long without anyone asking. That is the whole quiet miracle that makes gardens work. But now think about where a lot of us are actually growing: on a balcony 3 floors up, on a windowsill behind a screen, in a spot where a bee almost never visits, and that, right there, is the answer to the whole mystery. Your plant is doing everything right. It made the vine, it made the flowers, it made the little cucumbers. But nobody ever came to carry the pollen, so the female flowers never got the message, and every unpollinated baby cucumber gives up and drops off. It is not your soil. It is not your water. It is not the fertilizer. It is that the bee never showed up. And the beautiful part is, you can just be the bee yourself. So here's exactly how you do it, and I want you to hear how easy this is. First thing in the morning is best, because that is when the flowers are freshly open and the pollen is at its best. So do this with your coffee. You need one small, soft paintbrush, the little kind from a child's paint set, or even a clean cotton swab from the bathroom will work just fine. Find a male flower first, the one on the plain stem with nothing behind it. Gently swirl your little brush right in the center of it, the same way you would dab paint, and you will pick up that fine yellow pollen on the bristles. You do not need to see it to have it. Now find a female flower, the one with the baby cucumber behind it, and gently swirl that same brush right in the center of the female flower. That's the whole thing. You just did the bee's job in about 10 seconds. Go do it to every open female flower you can find. One brush of a male, one dab into a female, over and over. The whole round takes about a minute. Do that every morning for a few days, and I promise you, instead of yellowing and dropping, those little cucumbers will start to swell. They get fatter and greener and longer day by day until one morning you are standing on your balcony holding a cucumber. You grew from a seed you scooped out of a grocery store cucumber on a plant you fed right, pinched right, and pollinated yourself. That was garbage headed for the trash, and now it is dinner. And once you have done it one time, you will never look at a flower the same way again. And that is the whole idea, one scrap and one flower at a time. The book I told you about walks you through 31 of these day by day, starting with stuff that is sitting in your kitchen tonight. If this cucumber turnaround made sense to you, the same friendly step-by-step is waiting for 30 other crops, all for absolute beginners, no yard, and almost no money needed. $17 one time, marked down from $47 against a grocery bill that gets a little smaller every single week. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So let's gather it all back up, because it is really just 3 easy things. Stop feeding the leaves and switch to a tomato or bloom food that feeds the fruit. Pinch that main growing tip after 5 or 6 leaves so the plant makes side branches. And when the female flowers with their little baby cucumbers show up, grab a soft brush and be the bee yourself every morning. Do those 3 things, and that show-off vine finally starts filling your cutting board. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments the first scrap you're going to regrow, or the one you've already got going on your windowsill. I read every single one, and it honestly makes my whole day. And next time, I am going to show you how to take one grocery store potato that's already growing those little white sprouts in your pantry, the kind most folks throw out, and turn it into a 5-gallon bucket full of brand new potatoes on a balcony. No yard needed. Don't throw it away. Grow it. I'll see you next time, buddy.